the album, not really the album, the Bee Gees album of Saturday Night Fever was number one on R&B charts when he first came out with his record. The OJ's was still selling records with songs like "She Used to Be My Girl," Earth, Wind and Fire, the Commodores, Pop and Funkadelic. Those bands was taking over the world in the R&B charts. Donna Summer had hit records in the disco charts when this guy came out. Rick James had a hit record named "You and I" when Prince came out. That year that Prince came out was 1978. His first record was in April 1978. The first album he ever dropped. That's how long he'd been out. And all the people that I just named had hit records at that time. Palm Funkadelic had Flashlight as a hit record in '78, around the time that Prince came out. That's how to show you right there how long he's been out. He's been out since 1978. And every year from 1978, he dropped an album every year. That's not only that's hard work and dedication, but it also shows you that he loved doing what he was doing. It wasn't just about the money and the fame. He really loved doing what he was doing. You understand? To drop an album every year from 1978 is amazing. And not only that, and a couple of times he dropped double albums. Like Sign All the Times. That was a double album. 1999 and 1982 was a double album. Well, at the time, double album meant vinyls. But it still was a lot of songs on those albums. But what really showed me how much this guy loved doing what he was doing was when he dropped the Anticipation album in 1996, I think it was. And it was a triple CD album. 3 CDs. And each one had like about 14 songs or 15 songs on them. That sounded like a man who loved doing music. Because a man who didn't love doing music would not, just wanted the fame and money, would not do that. Now I understand that maybe he did it because the fact is he was independent at the time, I think, on his own label, and he made to make sure that he make the money because he knew his sales were going to be low because he's independent. But the bottom line was he loved doing music. He did 2 great soundtracks. One called Purple Rain in '84, which sold out over 30 million copies, I think, around worldwide. And the second one was Batman soundtrack in '89. It also was a big seller. Not only that, he helped a lot of people out. He helped other artists out, like Morris Day and the Times. He helped out Shirley E., Sheena Easton, Vanity Six, which had Vanity in it, who also passed away this year. He helped Debbie Jam and Terry Lewis and Jerry B. Johnson. They used to be his producers, and he used to pack them up. Then also songs that he had done also helped people out too, like by Lisa Morgan, "Do Me Baby." That was a hit record for her. He wrote that song. There was another song that I forgot the name of the song, but Stephanie Mills did it first, and then Alicia Keys did it on her album. I forgot the name of the song, but it's a song that a lot of women love to sing. All right, he did a lot. He did a lot. He was a hard worker, man. He was a hard worker. He loved doing music, and it's sad to see that he passed away so young. I don't know what it was that killed him. I know that people said he had the flu. He had to go to the hospital. They found him in his elevator, dead. I don't know if it was the flu that killed him, or the pills that killed him, for having the flu, or any other thing, or somebody just killed him. I don't know. But I know that he's not no longer here with us, and he would definitely be missed. He was one of the greatest icons of the 80s, along with Michael Jackson and Madonna. And other people too, but those three people right there transcend the 80s, man, when it came to pop music. Those three right there. And two of them now no longer with us. And he would definitely be missed. You know? And, hey, what can I say? Rest in peace. Now, getting to my rant again. You see, before I start talking about Africa, period, I'm gonna talk about black people in America. All right, we had an incident that happened with Birdman and the Breakfast Club here in New York with Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, you know, and people, you know, heard how he was speaking. And when I saw some of the comments online, the only thing that mostly black folks kept getting on him about is the fact that he said respect instead of respect. Now, they all right. The people that actually were making jokes about that, all right. That's not how you're supposed to pronounce respect. You're supposed to pronounce it with a T, not a K. Okay? So I understand that part. But here's the problem I have, is that the people that was doing this shit was mostly black people. People who call themselves African American. You see, this is the reason why I said that we are no goddamn Africans. This is why I say this. Because y'all all damn know that our ancestors before they got over here English was not our first language. All right? We had our own languages in Africa, our ancestors, in West Africa, basically. It was stripped from us when we got over here. Stories were told that if you spoke in your native language, African language, and the slave masters found that out, that he would clip your tongue off, cut your tongue out. I don't know if that was true, but for some damn reason, black Americans don't know any African languages for some reason. So there had been something with that was true. Okay. And why I say that, because groups of people came over here, like a lot of Latinos came to here in the 50s, and they still speaking their language, which is really not their language anyway, but I'm saying like it's Spanish. So it hasn't been true about the slave masters cutting black people's tongues out and they spoke in their African languages. Okay. So this is why we speak English, and why you got people in the Caribbean, some people in the Caribbean speaking French, and why you got some people in the Caribbean speaking Spanish and Portuguese. Black folks, people of black West African descent. So with that being said, for me to see all these black people get on Birdman about speaking a language that's not even originally ours, it's the reason why I say we ain't African American. Because if you was an African, like you say you are, because your ancestors are African, the first thing you would do is try to learn the African language, like your ancestors, and wouldn't care about the English language. But a lot of black people in this country do not do it. But yet they want to go around and call themselves African American because their ancestors was Africans. Get the fuck out of here. By you doing that, by you going on here and dissing Birdman for saying respect, and you're a black person, you ain't nowhere near an African. And I don't want to hear that out of your fucking mouth if you come to me with this bullshit. Because like I told people before, it takes more to be an African than just being black, because everybody in Africa wasn't black. So it takes more than that. It takes culture. It takes language. It takes ethnic foods to make you an African, to be known as an African. Not just having ancestors from over there. Not just for being black from Africa. That's not what makes you fully African. Okay? And this right here shows you what I'm talking about. because it was all black people. I saw a number of black people. I ain't seen mostly white people, maybe because they didn't want to be called racist or whatever, because I know they must have said the same thing. But I saw a lot of black people getting on about how he said respect. And I was pissed off about that because we call ourselves African, because a lot of us call ourselves African American in this country. And I know darn well our ancestors who was Africans and I was not speaking English when they came over here. So that to me right there shows me why I don't want to hear you talking about you an African. I don't want to hear that shit. Because how you going to get on this man about how he said respect when you supposed to be black yourself, when your ancestors did not come over here speaking English? Ask Hawkins. I couldn't believe it. It was mostly black people who basically was getting on him about how he said the word respect. Because he was saying respect my name with a K. Y'all motherfuckers should not even come out your mouth saying no shit like that. It's not even making any jokes about that. When you know darn well your fucking ancestors were getting their tongue cut out for speaking their native African languages. That's the shit. That's why I said we ain't no African American. That's why I say that all the time. Because y'all motherfuckers think that only being makes you African because you black. With most of Africa, with Africa wasn't only black people. Period. No, it takes more than that. Like I said, it takes culture. It takes language. It takes fucking the way the ethnic food and the way you live to be called African. Not just because your ancestors was black from Africa. That sounds fucking stupid, man. Sounds dumb. And while you're getting on Birdman about how he said respect, tells me that you ain't no fucking African. You ain't. You never will be. Because anybody who's supposed to be an African supposed to know this. The English is not an African language. That's a European language. And you should never joke on any black person for not speaking the language correctly. Let the white people do that. You as a black person should be doing that. If you see yourself as an African, you shouldn't be doing that. Let them do that. You shut the fuck up. If you hear a black person speaking broken English, you shut the fuck up. Because you should know that this was now our ancestors' languages. Okay? It's silly when I see that. When I see that, I just like, you know what? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Okay? And furthermore, let's get something clear here. Most people in America don't speak English correctly. A lot of people in New York, and including myself, speak with a silent R. So it makes a lot of people in New York sound funny when they speak. But for some reason, because you see a lot mostly white people speaking like that, not really black people in New York, y'all don't have nothing to say about that. Y'all just call that the New York accent.
Hey, Mr. Brett, I didn't understand one thing you just said right now, man. You know what? You got to straighten up your punctuations and your words, man, because the people, they can't understand you, man. Yeah. Your New York accent is too deep.
Exactly. And my parents came from the Carolinas, so they speak with a different accent. And that's the reason why Birdman was speaking the way he is, because he's from Louisiana. Y'all ever seen that? You ever understand that? Y'all understood that? He's from Louisiana. They got that. That's a deep Southern accent. Y'all fucking idiots. Because he's a black man speaking like that. Oh, he know how to speak proper English. But if a white person that from the South would speak like that, y'all would just call it a Southern accent. That's the shit I'm talking about.
Mr. Brad, it's called double standard. It's always been like that for centuries in this country. A double standard.
Yeah, but when I hear black people doing this, that's what pisses me off. You understand? Y'all shouldn't be doing that. Like I said, in America, most people are not speaking proper English. If you're talking about pronunciations and accents, the people who speak proper is the people that actually live in England. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people who speak proper English, and even then, they all got different accents over there. All got accents over there. All of them got different accents. England. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. Like, you gotta stop this nonsense, man.